Well, the new counter-terrorism plan is where we're sinking our teeth into, and Marpe will do the honors.
Well, thank you, Gimba. Joining us now to discuss this new counter-terrorism plan and what it hopes to achieve is Major General John Enenche, who is the defense spokesperson. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Good morning and thank you.
Good morning. Now, we have seen in recent times, well, sadly, quite a number of attacks, suicide attacks in certain parts of the country, especially in Adamawa in recent days. We heard one was foiled. We understand that the Nigerian army lost some soldiers in that attack. Our condolences. But then people are wondering, what precisely is this new counter-terrorism plan meant to achieve?
Yes, the new counter-terrorism against extremism and violence in the country is basically to achieve nipping these situations in the bud, not allowing them to escalate, not even allowing them to start in the first place before you now start finding ways of curtailing them, checkmating them, or fighting them. So that is what it is meant to achieve. Because for whatever reasons, whatever situations we have found ourselves, either in this country or outside, there were remote causes. And what we tend to do is to look at the immediate causes of these problems and then begin to address them. But the moment you can be able to address the remote causes, then of course, there will be no immediate cause to give you cause to start fighting in the first place. So that is what it is meant to achieve. So that in the next couple of years, just like this 3-year action plan, probably in the next 3 years or 4 years or thereabout, we will begin to see a situation whereby insurgency or terrorism may just be tempted to become something like criminal activities that are no longer deeply rooted like what we have now.
Details on what this counter-terrorism plan entails is quite scarce because the president only launched it a couple of days ago, and I don't think that has been released to the generality of the public. But then we've heard the the National Security Advisor saying that this document is to create a policy framework that involves the whole of government and also the whole of the public. What roles are they looking at for MDAs, for instance?
Yes, MDAs. You know, the issue of security, it cuts across from physical security, human security, food security, and all. And that, in a way, in short, in totality, is what gives rise to insecurity, if not properly handled. So everybody in the country, whether in the polity or the social aspect, everybody must be involved. Now you talk about MDAs. When you talk about ministries, departments, and agencies of government, of course, we belong to a ministry in the Armed Forces, Ministry of Defense. We have a serious role to play. Talk about the police, interior. Talk about all other people, the social Ministry of Sports. So it's a whole lot of stakeholders affair. Now you say the details are sketchy. Yes, of course. This is just like launching us into making inputs into the overall action plan. So for us in the military, of course, we have some measures in place and then things we need to do. Probably things we have been talking about, that look, we need to do this and do that so that we don't have this resultant violence or resultant insurgency or terrorism again.
It's
so
a
those
bit
are
of
the things
a
that we're
problem.
going to package together.
It's a bit of a problem, and yes, details are indeed sketchy and they're quite scarce. If the public is supposed to key into this, if ministries, departments and agencies, I believe that, well, circulars might be issued much later in terms of what roles ministries, departments and agencies, but even as ordinary citizens, the people who work there will be listening to journalists and hoping to hear something from the media concerning that. But right now, it's very unclear what roles anyone is supposed to play.
It will become clearer as time goes by. Probably in the next couple of weeks or months. Why am I saying so? We have all been given tax, if I would say now, you have been given a tax. Go and then come up with an action plan. So what, for instance, the Ministry of Culture or Information will come up with, they will now go to their drawing table before they will let the public know. For instance, the military, of course, ours may not even come so much in the open, but we now go back to our drawing board. What are the inputs we are going to make into this action plan? before the whole thing will be packaged. Yes, of course, it has to be sketchy naturally, because it's just like the directive. And once the directive has been given, it now has to be translated into the operational plan, which is the ways and the means of how it will be done.
So if I understand you correctly,
yes,
it's not like as if there is some document somewhere stating just what role ministry